Wow, we are underway. Thank you, HC9. Let's go walk in some, I don't know, would you call this ice pellets or hail? For all of you people who say that, how's the hike? We're just too happy. Everything's always rosy. Show us the hard stuff. Morning. Here we go again. From 9 Mile Trailhead, Ann Scott and I are going to find out how's the hike in Yellowstone National Park. Yes, we're at 9 Mile Trailhead, and as you look down, boom, welcome to the trail. They don't say what kind of bear, and let's hope we don't find out. Starting our trip to 5E6 today, 8.7 miles. And eventually down to the Thorofare ranger station area. That's the plan, which I will take you through at some point in this video. Plans actually had to change because of me. I'll also share that with you. Yeah, we're gonna see how this, we're gonna see how it goes. Let's just say that. I'll fill you in on that a bit later. Heavy packs for a long trip, including for YouTube, 4 heavy batteries. That's my sacrifice, I guess. And there's the gang. And there's Yellowstone Lake. Dropping into a pretty big creek. Let's see if we can rock hop. Yeah. Not sure. Have a look around here. See what's possible. Yeah. All right, here we go. First 4 cam of the trip, and I think there's probably going to be quite a few. Oh, that feels nice. So come. Okay, look. Hard to see actually what's on the bottom because it's so dark. And there's a bit of algae. Pretty easy crossing there. All right. We've just dropped down from an up and over, and there's some spur trails around here for 2 campsites, 5E9 and 7, and then a little further down 5E8. So 3 campsites in this vicinity as we head to 5E6, which is pretty much right on the lakeshore. Yeah, here it is. There. There's your sign. We're heading that way, a little panorama. Some folks out there on a boat. Looks like they're canoeing. What a day for it too, like a mill pond. What a view. Showed you that bear warning earlier. We've seen lots of scat, but I mean, a lot of it's old. This is old. We've seen stuff that's quite a bit older. So I wonder, you know, how long ago that warning was put up. You know what, Shua? Dropping down now to camp. We're not far from camp at all. Like literally almost on top of it. Oh, wow. This isn't epic at all, is it? I can see the sign for the campsite, which means it's right over there. Oh my goodness me. But this is 5E6 right here. Oh my goodness me. Eating areas over there. Oh my gosh. Gonna set up and enjoy this absolutely stunning campsite. Little shot of the setup. It's going to show you, we've come over to a little meadow through the eating area. So to the north, you can see my shadow. Hello. Hey. Anne's in her tent. She's doing some charging over here. Scott is over here in his X-Mid 1. And I'm going to walk over through to the eating area. Back at the eating area. Look at that view. So this is the eating area. Bear poles are up here. You can see them. We're going to walk together that way to the bear poles. Because through the bear poles, just a little further up, is the privy. Once you walk through from the bear poles, there's your privy. Bring your own stuff. And there's a sign. So remember I walked in, I said I kind of pointed at this trail and then we went to the sign. This was the trail that takes you into the bear pole and to the camp. And to the all-important privy. You can't join me in here. Well, a little trip planning video, and I'll keep it short actually because it's a long trip, 10 days, 9 nights, and man, what a great feeling to finally be at 9 Mile Trailhead, starting out southbound on the Thorofare to one of the most remote areas you can backpack in the lower 48. So the plan is simple. We're going to head down Yellowstone Lake on the Thorofare to the south boundary and make a big sweeping right-hand turn toward the west. We're going to continue along, and typically if you're going to do this as a point-to-point, you're going to exit at the south boundary trailhead, which is right at the south boundary where you enter the park from the south from Grand Teton. But we're not doing that. Scott came up with a great idea. This is our plan B, which I'll explain in a second, but a great idea of exiting at Heart Lake. Why did we choose Heart Lake? Because the original plan on this trip was to come in at Heart Lake, come out, connect with a thoroughfare at the south end of Yellowstone Lake, and then head down to the south boundary and do our loop-de-loop and all that kind of stuff, and kind of a lollipop so we didn't have to shuttle cars and things like that. But we were supposed to start hiking yesterday. Sorry about the sun there. Yeah, I've been sick. I've been sick for days. I'm not sure what it is. It's a virus. It could be the virus. Probably is. And today's the first day I felt like I could actually literally do anything. So Scott came up with a great plan B, and we were able to enter at 9 Mile. Because truthfully, these campsites out at this end of the park are not as used as the ones around, say, Heart Lake or places like that. So we got really lucky. And we've only altered the trip by a couple of days. And we were actually going to be able to go all the way down the Thorofare and intersect our campsites that we already had booked because of the day's delay. And the rest of the trip will be identical. Over to Harebell Cutoff, up the Snake River Canyon Trail and back to Heart Lake and back out. The difference is we did have to shuttle cars. And so Anne's vehicle is up here, my vehicle's up here, and Scott is down at the Heart Lake Trailhead. So that's it. That's the plan. And we so far have amazing weather. Little fire smoke, as I mentioned earlier today, which is kind of unexpected. We did have a lightning storm come through here, on the 4th? So maybe it started something, because otherwise the air here has been pretty super clear all summer for the most part. So anyway, that's trip planning. All right, epic supper time. As I said, I haven't been feeling well, so I think a little food and a little lay down is going to do the world of good. Supper is next. Supper time. Look behind me. Oh, that's bright. Try not to. Supper time. And so typically on night one, I will go with the heaviest thing in my pack, which tonight would be a Peak Refuel biscuits and gravy at 192 grams. So why am I not doing that? Because I've been kind of sick, as I told you earlier, and it's been a gastrointestinal festival, and it's been no fun. So I wanted something a little more, like something I know really well. So it's beef stew, but only 92 grams. So the pack will still be heavy tomorrow. Thanks to Bryden Solutions, BrydenSolutions.ca, for their sponsorship this summer, feeding me so well with lunches and suppers. I'm super appreciative. You don't need a special link. Just type in BrydenSolutions.ca. The link is below. And just go there and see all the amazing stuff they have for backpacking and, emergencies and things like that. Also want to thank Mech, who provided me with a ton of food and some great equipment, like my tent that's over there. There is a special link below for that, as there is for REI in the U.S. And if you do click those links and buy some stuff, it helps keep me on the trail. And I will send you positive karmic vibes. Right now, I'm going to send karmic vibes to my gastrointestinal system and hope it starts functioning a little better with the beef stew. Little visitor out there. Had a nice supper. It's going to be a great sunset. I'm just going to zoom back out here for you. It's going to be a great sunset. Now, let's just walk over here together. Look at that. You see that off in the distance? What do you think that is? Yeah, that's a forest fire. That is a forest fire on a, as the crow flies, direct line to where we're going. So we're on the Garmin's. I've messaged Evelyn, and Anne messaged Jim. We're trying to figure out, well, we know this is directly on the path we're going. So if I were to keep walking straight down the thoroughfare toward the south boundary, at some point, if I kept going south, that fire is at about 168 degrees from where I stand, and it is directly actually where we're heading. So how far away is it is the question. I mean, that's tonight. I mean, luckily there's no wind, but yeah, that is exactly on our path. Maybe not in our path, but on our path. So that's interesting. Yeah. Anyway, we're going to try to get some information and just see what that means for the next couple of days. Quick pan around Yellowstone Lake from the eating area here. It is just stunning tonight. A little shot of that forest fire down in Yellowstone National Forest. Saw a couple of a loon pair coming out, and there's your sunset. It's a good day. It was a hard walk for me because of my condition, but you know, power through and hope that things continue to gradually improve. It was an easy walk otherwise. Hear that? Yeah, that's going to be our evening tonight. Look at that. That's a wrap on day one. If there's any more to show you, maybe a glow from that. Well, let's just go back here for a sec, because there is. This is more of a sunset glow. But if we see some fire glow, I might show it to you before I start day two. Anyway, back here. See you in the morning. Good morning, day two. What a morning this is. Glorious. Look around. A little bit of stuff you see in the air is actually forest fire smoke. There are now a couple of fires burning around here from that lightning storm. So you can hear the water too. Remember yesterday there was not a sound. All of a sudden the water picked up in the middle of the night and it was like, oh, somebody turned on the sound effects. Oh, but no sound effects for me. Oh, not a great night's sleep. Had to get up to use the facilities and just tossed and turned and just wasn't comfortable and like stuffed up, couldn't breathe. So hiking with some sort of illness. That said, look at that. The cure for pretty much anything. One last shot around as we head out. Now, if you look down here, no plume. Pretty typical of forest fires to calm down overnight. The wind is now prevailing from the west, and we've gotten a lot of information from friends and family about what's going on. Last thing I asked was for Ann to check with Jim is to call the Yellowstone National Forest and see if the South Boundary Trail has been affected, a little bit of a closure in areas or whatever. So we'll start walking down that way, and if we hear something obviously that's negative, we'll turn around. But at the moment, it seems to be 60 miles or 100 kilometers to our south, and we really shouldn't get anywhere near it. So we're going to start walking on this beautiful day, and if we get any information, then we may have to revisit those plans. Quite a different little stretch here. It's funny, you know, when you random camp, you start looking for places. Look at the tent pads in here. We got to be on campsites, obviously, on this trail, but you can't stop looking. Look, I could go over there. That kind of thing. Milestone 5E4 campsite takes you down the lake. You can also get there by boat. Next campsite, I think, is 1.7 miles up ahead. And then the next one after that, 1.5 miles from that campsite. So we'll pick one of those for lunch, probably the second one. And making good time. Listen, the trail's easy. This is so far awesome. I know this, you know, that's going to change a bit, but it's been relatively flat. It's exceptionally maintained. And so, yeah, we're having a good pace. Coming up to the first of those two campsites I mentioned. Boat. Hiker or boat, 5E3. Just down that way. Not too far, actually. We're going to head to the next one and have some lunch. Ends up ahead, and we're going to make a big left, as I mentioned before, and then head back down the valley. This is the kind of getting to the end of Yellowstone Lake, where the river enters. Seem to be causing a commotion. A couple of campsites down this way too, actually. Pretty remote. Okay, we've dropped down, made our big left turn to the east, head that way for a bit, and then make a big right turn back to the south. So we're on the east side of Yellowstone River. And we'll be staying on that for the day until we get to camp. Here's 5E1, just down there a little ways. Trail goes down here, and I'm not sure what I'm going to see for water. So let's find out together. Not much here to worry about. Not even for the rock hop cam. All right. This one, however, looks like a forward. All right, I looked for a better spot and there isn't one, so here comes the forward cam. Let's see the temperature. Ooh, it feels good. Oh, a little chilly, and look at how deep that is. Wow, that might get my pants wet. Let's see if I can skip over a little ways. Oh, that's better. Yeah, okay. Get my pants wet anyway. I'm above my knees. Woo! Felt good. Getting into the home stretch. What a cool looking spot. And the fall colors too, right? It's early September and it's just so pretty, you know? And yet there's still areas over there in that little bog that are green. Ooh. Here's the sign we've been waiting for. This trail should take us down to our camp, and hopefully we can see the Cabin Creek Patrol Cabin. Let's have a look. Yeah. Okay. Not showing our campsite on here, but it's down here. And Thorofare. Whew. Glad to see this trail. Here we come into camp, finally. There it is. Yellowstone River just over there. Little creek we crossed looked pretty clean. And here we are. So we're gonna get set up and I'll show you around. There's camp for tonight. Promised I'd show you around. This is our view. She's a hazy one. Yeah, eating area as you walk in. The fire ring, not quite as epic as last night's. Scott's laundry area. I'm doing some solar charging here. Anne is doing it over there. Bare poles. And through there, the tents. No privy at this one. Find your own. Actually, it's quite comfortable to do that. And usually smells better than the privy. Yeah, so Scott hasn't set up yet. He's going back in there somewhere. So we're all tucked up in here together with some shade, except for me, apparently, which is unfortunate. I did have a nice lay down, though, and now I'm going to have a nice supper. One last look around this piece of paradise before the sun sets. And I may, if it doesn't get too cool too quickly, come back out around dusk when it gets, kind of that hazy dark and see if I can see any animals. I mean, they're going to stay far away from us. Yellowstone River just over there. Can't see it. We'll be following that tomorrow, and I think tomorrow night camping right alongside of it. So, I mean, it's so quiet here right now. That sunset, beautiful smoky sunset. I mean, smoke all air pollution actually adds to the beauty of sunsets. Did you know that? That's so cool. Look at that. Yeah. Anyway, going to be another great night for sleeping. Not too cold, not too warm. No wind and no noise. It's so quiet. Listen. Yeah. Anyway, pretty good day. Our longest day by, kilometers. Not really long in the grand scheme of backpacking, but in the way the trip is planned, it certainly was. The next couple of days are going to be pretty easy. And like I said, I think tomorrow night we'll be at right on the Yellowstone River, and hopefully we'll have some white noise in the background because that's kind of my favorite. And then after that, heading along the south boundary and up to, I think, Mariposa Lake, which should be pretty stunning as well. And then probably a good old up and down outside the park in Grand Teton, or Bridger Teton National Forest. So yeah, I got all that straight in my head. Anyway, I'm gonna wait for dusk and look for some animals. I'm gonna let you enjoy that, and I'll see you in the morning. Good morning. Much better sleep last night. I think I was asleep before 10. And you know, you wake up in the night out here, as you probably do at home, but pretty good sleep overall. A little chillier this morning, actually, than I expected. So I'm already bundled up here, as you can see, getting ready for my coffee and breakfast. A pretty easy day today, actually. It's an interesting campsite we're heading to tonight. I think we're going to be on the river, as I mentioned earlier. And we have like a 1.1 mile spur trail from the thoroughfare into this campsite. All in all, though, it's still about 12.5 kilometers. So a pretty easy day, a pretty easy walking. So maybe it'll be laundry day. Take advantage of the time. Anyway, another bluebird up and at 'em. Coffee. Our double checks are complete, that nothing's been left behind. And we're off to, is it 6D1?
6D1.
6 Delta 1. And we were talking about this earlier. 6 Delta 1 is going to take us over toward the hills, right on the river, which is why I do want to get in early, because I want to do some laundry and stuff. And when you're that close to those western hills, you lose the sun a lot earlier than you normally would. And then, of course, the temperature drops pretty quickly this time of year. So I think we're going to make pretty good time of this. Back down the thoroughfare, and we're heading up to intersect the trail right now. Back up to the thoroughfare. Look at this sign one more time. Well, actually, the one that matters to us this morning. Yeah, so 6D1 not on there. We're not to that section yet. Anyway, all right. Let's go see what we can see. Here's our first real good view of the Yellowstone River from the thoroughfare. Yeah, and I look at it, it's flowing, moving, and still some good water volume. So hopefully we'll be right on the edge of it tonight. Looking at these rocks, it looks like somebody tried to mix some cement. I mean, we are on top of a super volcano, so it all makes sense when you see these different kinds of rocks. But yeah, look at that. Great view of the Yellowstone from up here. Look at those rocks right in the middle of the frame. Isn't that cool? Speaking of rocks, look at that. Our first really good view of it. Great view of the valley. We're heading up and then to the right on the south boundary. Another intersection here down to 6B2 would be the trail down this way. A little update on our progress. And if we look at it from the south side, again, no indication there's a campsite down there. Same as the one we stayed at last night. That's interesting. So make sure you got a map. Scott just turned around and we just realized that intersection I showed you just seconds ago in the video was that's where we would have entered this trail on our plan A had I not been sick. So we are now back on track, the plan we had from the very beginning. And we'll be staying at the campsite tonight that we would have stayed at on that original plan, and then everything remains the same. Cool. Little view up Trappers Creek. Should be a rock hop for us this morning. Right where that waterfall is, probably in the trail. Just over there. Nice little view here. There goes the gang. Rock hop time. All right, time for a rock hop. We've bear scat. There's a great print. Look at that. Look at that. Ooh, that's a grizz. That's a grizz for sure. Front paw. I mean, obviously, we're not in willows bashing around, and it is ahead of us by at least a day. Looking at how that print has kind of softened in the sand and going in our direction, so that's all good. Anyway, cool to see. Wonder if we'll see the actual bear. So I didn't know I was hiking with Jimmy Buffett. Or is it Willie Nelson? Let's sing it. Let's sing it. To all the trails I loved before. This is a big intersection, and the gang just went down to the right, which is our direction. Mountain Creek Trail goes left. And Eagle Pass. Oh, wouldn't that be something to see? I've wanted to get up there too, but that's a different hike for a different day. And we'll look on this side just to show you where we're heading. 61, 2 lonely miles. Woo. And we've done 24.6 already from 9 Mile. So 2 miles is about, 3.2 kilometers. We're going to have an early day. And as I mentioned, the first few days on this trip, pretty easy. And that's good. Packs get light before we start doing some climbing. And there's nothing wrong with taking a leisurely backpack in a remote area as beautiful as this, if you have the time. Just a little further up the trail, there is indeed lots of water. Look at that for a bathing hole. But not for a fording hole. So yeah, we have to actually cross over this just to be able to go down and get kind of on the other side again. We're going to go down here a ways and see if we can rock hop. Another rock hop here. The navigational team walked right past the sign. That said, there's no trail that I can see at all. So this will be exploratory. So Jimmy Buffett just told me that the book said it was a bushwhack and there's no trail. So yeah, okay. Well, you want to be Willie. Oh, I can make up some songs. All right, let's go find camp. We all have GPS devices. We all know where the campsite is. But look at this. If you're looking for a scant trail, see this? These trees have been cut by a chainsaw. So you're going in the right direction. One of those little reassurance markers, to borrow the phrase. And there is an actual trail. I actually, Scott, video's rolling, but I actually like this kind of hiking. Where are we going, It's exciting. Blaze and a marker. Another indication that you're on some trail somewhere. Bushwhacking now, and you can see a trail marker right up there. There's a bit of a fork back there in the trail, so I had to kind of look up and see if I had any other indicators. Because you're always looking down in this mess. Look at that, look. Yep, there's the trail right ahead of me. Oh! And we're out for a bit. See, trail marker there, trail marker there. Coming into camp. Wow, we had to work for that. It's kind of fun though. So we're going to get our bearings, find the river, and then when we get set up, I'm going to show you around. Little shot around camp, little shot of the river. And as I zoom back out, careful, here we go. We've come back in quite a ways from the river and tucked in our tents. It's nice to be out with a view. Maybe we'll see some animals. Unfortunately, it's facing west, so it's pretty hot in the tents. Although some clouds came through and we did manage to have a little rest. Just back from the tents is exactly what I showed you when we walked in. The eating area with the food pole right beside it. There's the food pole. You can kind of see my bag through there a little bit. Just walk over here and yeah, there's the gang and there's the food pole and there's camp. We've come out on the river flats down where the creek enters the Yellowstone River. And this was obscured pretty well with smoke today and it's cleared out. I'm going to zoom in for you. There we go. On the right, Turret Mountain. On the left, Table Mountain. And there they stand, watching over us. Turret and Table. Zoom back out. A little panorama down here on the flats. Lots of game tracks down here. Wolf, bear, deer, elk, maybe a cat. Right, there's the gang getting water. And here's the view downriver. Gorgeous. Well, that's a wrap on day 3. One more look at the Yellowstone River behind me. And it was a great day. We had a great walk. It was an easy walk. Get into camp super early and had time to wash up, do some laundry, and have a little lay down. And I'm glad the clouds rolled in for a bit because my tent was right in the sun. And I was thinking, I'm probably not going to get that afternoon 15 or 20 minutes. But I did, and it was great. And we had a great supper, kind of plotting our moves for tomorrow because I'm going to flash this up right now. The trail coming in here is what you can see. It was following the Nat Geo lines perfectly and then not. And there were 2 different markers. I saw an orange one to the left and a white one to the right. I went to the white one to the right. Maybe the orange one to the left is a trail. I guess we'll have to see in the morning. Easy walk, I should say, until we got here and did bushwhack our way through and route find. And as I said in the video, I think that was kind of fun. Like, you know, it's just kind of fun to look around. Okay, which way are we going? Where's the trail? What do you see? Where's a marker? Stuff like that. I kind of find it exciting. And this is kind of exciting. We're so far off trail, we couldn't get any further west or we would have to go over these guys. And I mean, it feels super remote and wild. I love it. I love it. I saw lots of prints down here, as I mentioned earlier. And, well, what's that mean for tonight? Obviously, we're on some sort of route, highway. Let's hope we hear stuff like we heard last night. I'll let you know when I do. Time for another lay down, time for sleep, and I'll see you in the morning. Morning, day 4, and we're going that way down to 6T2, and that's a big milestone for us because now we head west. Starting tomorrow, we start heading west on the South Boundary Trail to Mariposa Lake and then into Bridger-Teton National Forest and then back into the park toward Heart Lake. So another bluebird, as you can see. Weather has been spectacular so far, and maybe some more afternoon cloud mix coming in, which is nice. If your tent's in the sun, you can have a little rest and not have to worry about all that heat. So speaking of heat, I'm going to go heat up some coffee and some breakfast, and we're going to get underway on what's going to be, quite honestly, another easy day on the Thorofare. Off on another epic trek of 12K. What we're going to do up here is try to find a trail that might veer off to the right. It could be a reroute, but the Nat Geo map was right on the money, and all of a sudden we did this big arc into camp. So I'm going to come out here and hopefully try to figure out exactly where that happened, if we can find it at all. Turret Mountain looking a little angrier this morning. Nice clear view of it though. Seconds later, poof! Back on the Thorofare. All right. Today's bushwhack over. Little shot backwards here. Just met this large group of people. They've been camping out in the, I think Shoshone National Forest actually, and they've dipped down in and heading back out that way. It's a big group. So to see people out here is, you know, not common. Anyway, hi to you guys. Hope you have a safe and great rest of your trip. They did see a grizz, so maybe that's in our future. Won't be able to show you this, but sandhill cranes. Thanks to all of you who watched the Bob Marshall video and told me what those were. Now we hear them here. Little marker up here for a horse-only camp, which I tried to, when I wanted to get the permit, I wanted to take 6Y7, which is here, instead of what we had last night. Would have been about the same distance, but not the giant spurt trail. And a little more, you know, open meadow kind of area. That said, I'm pretty happy with last night. It was awesome. But that's 6Y7 through there, back up by the river. Beautiful. So by the way, I just showed you that campsite, the river. I mean, it's positioned right on the river. Pretty nice spot for a break, eh? So we're sitting here just pondering. Anne said you need to wash your hat, and I was about to say I need to throw it out, and then it hit me. I need to have that framed. What do you think? Frame it?
Well, you've got trail from how many states and provinces on there?
I've got 8 or 9 years of trails, thousands of kilometers in the U.S. and Canada.
And there must be at least a few grains of dirt from every one of those trails ground into it.
It's true. And do you know how much of my sweat's there's probably 5 bodies of me in there. I think we're going to get it framed. Just dropping down in. Now our campsite is actually right in the middle of the frame straight ahead. We're not going to go straight to get there, but that's where it is. And then tomorrow we're going to backtrack, actually. Come up through that tree line. And there it is, our valley that we're going to head up into the Two Oceans Plateau area toward Mariposa Lake. So yeah, a little bit down, and a little bit of a backtrack. And that's right there. That's where we're heading. There's the fork in the road. Let me show you the sign. We are going right, which is west. Oh. 6T2, 1.1 miles. Seems a little further than what I'm seeing on Gaia, but hey, it's still not far. I'll just come around here and show you this. Look back, we'll have this view tomorrow morning, and I'm going to show you why here in a second. So here's the sign. Let me flash up on the screen where I'm at. So there I am on that little arrow. You can see it's kind of a loop around this area, right? So we're heading down this way to our campsite. You could have gone up to 6Y4 tonight. I think it's, well, I know it's horse. It's probably horse hiker. And you would have set yourself up for the gap. If I come over here, there it is, right up in there is where we're going tomorrow. Up into Two Oceans Plateau to Mariposa Lake. So we actually have a choice. We can, we have to do the confluence forward no matter what. The forward up high toward that valley we have to do no matter what. But if we continue to do the loop in a clockwise way from our campsite, there's a ford right out of camp on the creek. We won't know what the size of that is until we get there. If it's small, we just cross with our almost our bare feet, perhaps in the morning. And then we go up the other way because it is a tad shorter. If it's deep, we don't want to bother with it. We can backtrack this way, and I think it only adds a couple of 100 meters to the day, so no big deal. Gang went ahead of me because I had to do yet another bathroom break. Yes, we're back to that today. Here's your signs, 6T2. That's us. Well marked, freshly marked. Well, let's go see what we've got going on. What kind of camp we've got tonight. Not new, but that is the second pile of bear scat on this spur trail into our hiker only camp. It's quite a wide trail too. Lots of fresh work done, much appreciated. Quite a hike. Holy mackerel, this just goes on and on. Am I back at 9 Mile Trailhead yet? Holy smokes. Doesn't really indicate that on the map. There's our water source. Okay. Gotta be there already. Come on. Gang's here. I was just saying on the camera, am I back to 9 Mile yet? That's quite a winding spur trail, but look at the view we have tonight. Oh, baby. Woo! There's the entrance to the camp. Pretty unorthodox campsite tour because we're not set up yet, but I'm going to explain that in a second. There's the bear hang. Eating area. Now, typically, you want to be back in there somewhere, but everywhere we look, We have dead trees on an extraordinarily windy day, so we may have to do something unorthodox and come down closer to both the bear pole and the eating area to be safe from the dead trees on a windy day. We are, of course, careful. As I've mentioned many times when I talk about this stuff, I've camped in the north and south boundaries of Jasper National Park, basically on the trail and or under a bear pole. Speaking of bears, let me show you what we've noticed down here in the mud. Look at that healthy fella. And if you just pan along, keeps going. That is an enormous grizzly bear. Look at that. I wish I could give you some perspective. I mean, I can't. Well, there's a footprint. All right, so I've come over here away from the sun. There's no way you would have seen me. I wanted to give you a much prettier view than this and this, but I have a trip update. We've decided to change plans because of weather. So I pulled down the weather the last couple of days, and we have a kind of a rain event coming through on Wednesday and Thursday of this week. That's the 2 days we would be ascending and descending over Big Game Ridge in the National Forest just outside of Yellowstone National Park, Bridger Teton, if you're making notes. So I pulled down the weather from that area of Bridger Teton, and it looked like right around freezing, which honestly to me means heavy, wet snow. If you haven't seen the glacier video yet, there it is. Watch it. And I'll just give you a preview. Here's a picture of me on a long day where I could not stop at all from point A to point B, or I would have started to have stage 1 hypothermia, which could have progressed. Also knew on that day if something happened, nobody was coming, no way to get a helicopter in, nowhere near a trail crew. So yeah, there was just nothing. It was a sketchy day. And then here's a clip. Right, so we know that's probably snow is going to be coming at the elevations we were going to be on Wednesday and Thursday, at least later in the day Wednesday, overnight perhaps, early into Thursday. And I'll be honest, we're just not into it. We wouldn't have any views anyway, right? So you go up to Big Game Ridge for the views, kind of a scenic highlight in some ways, and you're not going to see anything anyway. We're still going to have a rain event down lower, and it's not going to be so pleasant, but the changes we've made are going to make it much easier. So tomorrow night, we're going to go to Mariposa Lake, and then we're going to continue on the south boundary and stop and head up the CDT. We've been able to book the campsite at this end of the CDT and that end of the CDT before the Heart River Trail cuts over, and then the Heart Lake Trail cuts up, and we will be able to keep our campsite for the final night. How did we do this? A Garmin inReach. Anne messaged Jim at home, said, Jim, this is our situation. This is what we'd like to swap. Can you call the park office? So Jim did. Thank you, Jim. And thank you, Yellowstone National Park Trail Office. That's 2 changes on this trip. And every time I've been in there this summer and last, they are just so friendly. They're all very knowledgeable. These are seasonal workers. They've been very well trained in how to help you and offer suggestions and make changes, and it's just a great experience. So thank you guys for that. We're going to have some supper over here. It's a gorgeous campsite. It's been a gorgeous afternoon. Tomorrow will be a little different. It's going to be a great day, but we got to climb up to Mariposa Lake. So big healthy supper. Get our energy up. That's next. We're around the eating area. There's that forest fire I showed you whatever day it was, a couple of days ago. Just down to our south. And what's for supper?
Stew and mashed potatoes.
Stew?
Spelt differently.
Oh, okay. Phew, man. Scott, what you got going on?
Singapore curry. 2 flavor packets.
You got to cook that?
Yeah, but you can just start it for a minute and then let it soak.
Oh, all right.
But it does say to cook it, but you don't have to.
Okay. I'm having from Bryden Solutions biscuits and sausage gravy.
Yum, I love that.
That's your favorite?
Among them, top 5.
Yeah. This is one that Dwight threw in when I went to pick everything up at the Bryden Solutions near Calgary, part of their sponsorship this summer. So I'm excited to try it. Little shot of our sunset over this bucolic location. This is just gorgeous. I'm just shocked at how quiet it is out here. And I've been in quiet before, but what I'm talking about, like there's just not a lot of moving water. Has been a lot of wind this afternoon, but nothing overnight. Speaking of overnight, that moon will be leaving us. That is a daytime moon, according to Scott. And it will be setting soon, and we will have another starry night. I've had a couple of great pictures I've shared with you of the stars. Just beautiful out here. This is a gorgeous area, super remote, super quiet, and it's just been great to have a trip where, you know, you've planned shorter days, basically. you know, you could certainly put a couple of these days together and do 20, 30 kilometers and get where you're going, you know, a lot faster. But that's not the point of a hike this time of year in an area like this. For us, anyway, the point is to get out here and just enjoy every day. Have longer afternoons in camp. Like today, it helped us a lot to be able to change plans and figure that out and get all that done. And we know we have another gorgeous day tomorrow going up to Mariposa Lake, which I'm super excited about. It should be amazingly scenic and really our big climb of the trip tomorrow, especially now that we've changed plans and we're heading up the CDT toward Heart Lake instead of the south boundary into the Bridger-Teton National Forest. I think a pretty smart call, even if it's just a cold rain at, you know, 1 degree above freezing or something like that. It's just, you're not going to see anything. So I think we made the right call. So one more look, sun going down behind those mountains, jet passing overhead, and I'm going to bed. See you in the morning. Morning, little shot of camp. Anna's shaking some condensation off of her tent, which was ice at one point. Yes, chilly last night. Chilly and still. Nice view of the stars. Although at 3 a.m. when I got up to actually see if I could get you a better picture, like there was this blank spot in the sky. It's like, what happened to all the stars just off my tent? So I don't know what happened. What happened to the stars? They rotate away? It's a black hole of stars, and it was just over here.
Like the 3-body problem, they just winked out.
Reference, look that up, folks. Right out here, I'm looking in the sky, there's nothing. Over this way, lots. So that's what happened there. Anyway, it's our big day. 5K of flat walking, 8K of not flat walking, and then it's all downhill to Heart Lake. First, you want to say it?
Coffee!
Oh boy. So the team has opted for the single ford version, so we're going to backtrack. And we'll have to deal with probably a little more water than the 2 fords. I think it's, I mentioned it yesterday, Confluence Ford. I'll show you the sign when we get there. But first, this giant spur trail that looks pretty new. We made quick work of that. Here's our sign. And Confluence Ford, 1.6 miles. So that's not too far for us. This looks like a lake. Well marked. Oh boy, let's go see what we're dealing with here. Oh wow. What? Nothing. Is this a nothing burger? All right, I'll show you what we're doing. Here's a look at our Ford. Scott just pointed out that there's a little kind of a, right out here, there's just a little sort of almost rocky, sandy, pebbly thing. And that's what I'm gonna use. So, a lot easier than expected. Let's find out what the temperature is. You ready?
Not bad.
Here comes the Ford cam. Oh, that's not bad at all. Oh, feels good. Yeah, pretty good flow, but nothing. Nothing burger. Thank goodness. Yeah, nothing at all. I didn't want to do this in late June. All right. All right, here comes Willie. To all the creeks I've crossed before. This is actually a river, but little shot back up the valley. You can see turret off to the right. A little hazy with smoke. Get a whiff of it every now and then. We're just gonna skirt around this water over to that marker and let's see what we see. And hopefully Lynx has some water in it. We're not sure, but that would be great because we've got a bit of work to do to get up to Mariposa Lake. Looking forward to seeing that. A couple of markers on that tree that Ann spied. That was a severe bushwhack. There's Scott. You on the trail? Yeah. Attaboy. Well, there it is. Wow. Okay. Whew.
What's that marker doing over there?
I know. Wide open here, so we just cut across on an angle. here's the trail. So we should be, I have no problems now. So that trail Scott was standing on is actually the one we should have come around on, but we completely lost it. It was nowhere that we could see, and there were no markers. Anyway.
South boundary might be a little bit easier to find.
Yeah, probably. Well, now we're on it. We're on the south boundary. Hear that? Lynx Creek. No worries about water. At least down here. We're gonna stop up here and have a little quick break because Scott's got soaking wet bushwhacking through the bog. So we'll cross over here on this little rock hop. Looks like. Yeah, pretty much. All right. Some lingering paintbrushes. Mid-September. Started our initial climb, looking back. Pretty view. Pretty easy climb so far, so hopefully it stays that way. I love hiking in the fall. I mean, stuff is obviously finished its cycle for the season, but it's still, look at this, just gorgeous. Still very pretty. Lots of great colors. A little chill in the air. Just awesome. Dropping back down into the links. We're going to stop and take a break. Water up, have a little lunch, make the final push. About 2.2 kilometers to the top. I'll flash it up in miles. Scott and I were talking of all the backpacking we've done together. This will be our highest elevation for the year. It will not be mine, however. I was almost to 11,000 feet in Rocky Mountain National Park in Colorado, doing a training hike that will appear on the channel under the Backpacking 101 series. Depending when you're watching this, it could already be there. Anyway, still get you huffing and puffing. Going the opposite way. Almost looks human, doesn't it? Yeah, would have come through yesterday maybe? Hard to say. Looks like a little black bear to me. Coming up over a little rise, I see a bigger bear. That's a bigger bear going the other way, I do believe. Now you can go back and look at the video, and I will too, but it seems bigger. Speaking of that, I'm coming up over a rise, and you can see the final push. It's just up over this rise ahead of me, but I'm coming out into a meadow. This is a great place to call out the animals. But before I do, I kind of want to see if anything's in close, so I don't spook it. I mean, if you saw the Clearwater Red Deer video, my just calling out provoked a defensive attack from a bear. I shouldn't say an attack, I apologize. A defensive response from the bear. Certainly was not an attack. Yeah. So I don't see anything in close. I'm going to go ahead and call out. Hey up! Hey up! Hey! Come across this. We're not at the pass, if it is a pass. Old trail marker. Goes both ways, but it's gone. Fortunately, the track is in good shape. And just like that, down we go. Showed you what I saw. Not really a true mountain pass or anything like that, but great to be in the Two Ocean Plateau area. I can't wait to see Mariposa Lake. A little work to do before we get there, but mostly all downhill, as you can see. Oh, rain. Not in the forecast today. Hold off for me. Oh my, look at that. Mariposa Lake. We got to go down around the north side of it, which is to our right. Camp's going to be kind of on the other end, probably near the outlet, would you think? Or is it on that stand of trees just before that? Ooh, it's a mystery.
Bohannon has it different from Gaia. I'll have to search.
All right, well, we're going to go, we'll find out next. All right, so a little update. Indeed, the campsite is on the Nat Geo map is correct. Guy has got a couple of them. That's weird. We are down probably in that stand of trees near the outlet. Oh my goodness, what a lovely spot this is. Woo! Little look back as Ann takes it in for show you a little bit of the scope here. That's something. This is stunning. Camp is just up here. It's a big white blaze in the tree, just ahead of Willie. And we're going to camp. Speaking of markers, there's the camp marker. Yeah, exactly. I wonder where they want us to go. We're gonna head down in the woods. Yeah, exactly. I'll show you around. Oh, look. Oh, I can see it through the trees. I can see a campsite marker of some sort. Let's see if we can see it on video. There it is. Yep. All right, off we go.
Something like this?
No, it's like a sign.
Oh.
Might say no fires.
Oh, yeah. Well.
Little pop-up thunderstorm heading our way. Might just miss us to the south because we're up here in the trees. I'm going to show you camp in a second. Heard some elk bugling. This is a cool place. Look at this. Pulling down the weather now because if we were staying here Thursday into Friday, snow. Like literally forecast snow. Like maybe 7 to 10 centimeters. Now we're dropping down in elevation, so it all depends where that freeze line is, right? So I've asked Garmin to pull down some weather down the road. Coming back in from the lake from a second ago. Here's where we're going to eat. No fires, of course, as I mentioned. Our tents are tucked over there. And the bear pole right there. Nothing's been hung yet. The rush was to set up the tents because of the incoming weather. So let's see what happens. And wait for the weather to come down and enjoy the view. Little shot of camp, a little panorama. Sun's back out after thunderstorms just to our south. We got a little bit of rain and some hail. We heard some elk bugling, which is really cool. They seem to have stopped. And the sun is back out, but that is only temporary. Yeah, look at this spot though, Mariposa Lake, just gorgeous. Why do I say only temporary? Well, hello, let's come back. Hi, how are you? Wow, we got some weather moving in. We made the absolute right call. I explained that to you in the video previously about not wanting to go up over Big Game Ridge because it's going to snow. Well, today's forecast proved out they're actually forecasting snow accumulations of at least 10 centimeters. I'll have to flash up what that is in inches, and that's just one day. And the forecast temperatures are dropping, so I've pulled down the next 3 campsites, and including here, and we're just kind of watching. The big question is, when will it start tomorrow? Because, later in the day tomorrow, it's a 30% chance. So when's the heavy stuff start? Because Thursday's showing heavy rain. A big accumulation of rain, some wind, 90 to 100% chance depending on the forecast location. So we're trying to figure out tomorrow, like, okay, well, we've got the shortest day in the world tomorrow to get to our next camp after the plans. And we get there at 11:30 or noon. It's like, So we're going to check just to see if the next campsite that we've booked is available. Because if it is and we feel good, we might really push if we can get in ahead of the rain. And then what will we do? Well, we have it booked for 2 nights. So if it pours like it's showing it's going to pour, and by the way, just above freezing, so about 3 Celsius or about 37 Fahrenheit, I think that's about right. That is a cold rain with wind. And having just gone through that, Scott and I, it's like, So who knows? Maybe we'll have a hunker down day. You got to be prepared out here for everything, and you got to be okay with making changes and thinking about, this may really be bad. The other option, of course, is we carry on with the plan, have a short day tomorrow, and we'll have dry clothes, 2 sets. And why do I say that? Because you get up Thursday and you're going to get soaked by the end of Thursday when you get to camp. No problem, because it looks like the rain's going to taper off a bit on Friday, hopefully early in the day or overnight into Friday morning, and then you've got a dry set of clothes to start Friday's hike up to Heart Lake. So lots of variables, lots of things could change, lots going on in here, but right now, all I'm going to do is enjoy this view, listen for some more elk, and then toddle off to bed, and fingers crossed the forecast improves tomorrow. But my goodness, it doesn't matter. Look where we are. See you in the morning. Look at the mano lantern in front of you. Good morning, it's day 6. Yes, we've got the mano lantern going. Happy Halloween, everybody. Oh, anyway, the rain started overnight. It's one of those mornings where you come out and do the Taylor Swift. You grab your tent and you kind of shake it off, off. Yeah, no hope. There's literally no hope for shaking that off. Rain started in the middle of the night. Not too bad right now. I mean, I can't really show you the sky. It's lightened up. It stopped raining about, 45 minutes ago. And I think we're going to have a bit of a reprieve. But it's coming. It's coming for us. And then the temperatures are going to plummet to below freezing. So, isn't backpacking fun? So today the idea is to stay dry. Do as much as we can for our bodies, and our clothing is to stay dry. The tent, well, the rain flies already beyond hope. Maybe we'll get some wind later, and maybe that will dry things off. So we're going to get going and see how far we go. But first, there it is. Coffee. Gang's almost ready. First milestone will be heading down and intersecting the Two Ocean Plateau Trail, which will be to our right as we continue on the south boundary to our left. And then kind of down toward the patrol cabin on the border of Bridger-Teton National Forest. And then up the CDT. It's a very short day. We'll see how things are going and I guess assess what we're going to do when we get there. But that's the plan for now. Nice and early. Clouds are darkening down a bit. But we still have a bit of a reprieve. So as soon as Mr. Meadows finishes up over there, we'll head over to the intersection of the south boundary and the Two Oceans Plateau. Hopefully see the Fox Creek Patrol Cabin. Because we haven't seen any patrol cabins when we're supposed to yet. Here's that intersection I was talking about. Two Ocean Plateau Trail that way. And we're going this way. Should be a campsite here as well. It's about a mile from Mariposa Lake. We're heading toward the Snake River Trail, and that's where we're going to turn up. That is actually also the CDT. I'll just show you this side as well. Yeah, there it is. Okay, there comes the gang. A little sweep around. We're going this way. Little reprieve from the rain. Not heavy rain, just steady, as you saw. Problem is, all this stuff soaking wet. And of course, that translates down. Oh, Solomon, what happened to your waterproof boots? Second pair in 2 years. They just leaked through. Toe rubber's falling off. That'll be another video. I mean, hey, listen. When you come out here and do these things, stuff's expensive, so you want it to last, right? Anyway. Didn't expect to stay dry today, but it's mostly because of all this stuff. The map shows us hugging the boundary with Bridger-Teton National Forest, and as I peek through there, I can see a bit of a blaze. Now that's typically a trail marker on the trail, but from where I stand, that's probably the end of the park and the beginning of the national forest. We're actually going to skirt that whole boundary for quite a bit here. Campsite coming up, patrol cabin coming up, and then our intersection. So we are as far south in Yellowstone as you can get. I don't know if you can see this, but there's another one through there. Another one of those. Yeah, so that's obviously the park national forest boundary. Woo, pretty cool. Oh my God, this is gorgeous. Hey, look, that's blue sky. Oh, please come our way. Look at this place. Sure feels wild and remote. There is a campsite here near the patrol cabin, 6M7, just up in there. You can see another flag on the tree, so I'm not quite sure where it goes up in there, but this is a gorgeous meadow. Be a great spot to camp. Now let's see if Scott and my luck, our luck, of seeing patrol cabins continues, because we have not seen the ones we thought we were going to see all summer out here. Should be up here somewhere to the right if it's still here. Gotta be. We get to see a cabin. Might as well have a look, eh?
Let's.
Fox Creek Patrol Cabin.
Layers.
Show it to you in a second. Here it is, Fox Creek Patrol Cabin. Scott just said first building we've seen in 6 days, and he's right. That's a cute one. I like it. Look at that, firewood all ready to go. Oh, that'd be nice right now. Very cool.
Does it say hikers, please come in?
Hikers, please come in. It does not say that, just for the record. They never do. All right. Woo. There's our temperature in Fahrenheit. And just under it, you can see Celsius. So we're approaching 50 or plus 10. You know, and not bad. Not bad. We know it's going to be worse in the next few days, but not bad today. We'll take it. Nice little stop at the patrol cabin. Snack. Scott removed some layers. I'll go up here and show you a couple things while the gang gets ready to follow along. There is the Bridger Teton National Forest boundary and sign, and also the CDT coming up from the south. This is the trail, obviously, south boundary that we just came in on, and there's the sign. So Snake River Trail, we're heading to the left, you know, more west, and then we're going to head up the Snake River Trail, which is also the CDT. Good indication of the park boundary and the national forest boundary. It's still interesting to me that out here, most of these are fluorescent. And there's more fluorescent just showing the boundary. So when I showed you earlier, those fluorescent boundary markers, I mean, if you're out here wondering where the trail was, which, you know, the trail was pretty obvious, but still, it's color-wise, a little odd choice, I guess. But we're gonna skirt this boundary now, where on the left side's the National Forest, right side National Park, for probably, I don't know, another 700 or 800 meters, 700 meters. Beavers. Oh, there was the trail. I'm gonna try to walk across the top of this beaver dam. Done it before. Hope they built a good one. They built a good one. Lordy, keep an eye out for this. Oh wait, that's a marker. It's like an old license plate. What's it say? Something's prohibited, area line, national park. Oh, boundary line. Oh, wow. Hunting prohibited. Okay. Let's hope this is still the trail. Okay, so I'm glad I went and saw that marker, but that's just a boundary marker. It takes you down the Fox Creek Trail right into Bridger Teton National Forest. I'm ahead of the gang, and they might get just as confused. So I am going to wait for them and make sure they don't miss this little intersection here. Just going to go up here and have a look at the situation by this water. Really great view of the Snake River Valley. Heading north, that's our direction. Trail intersection signs just down here. I'll show you that. Look at that. Woo, baby. Here's that intersection I've been yammering about. Woo. That's the south boundary. That's Snake River and the CDT. There it is, Two Ocean Plateau Trail. You've seen that. A Harebell Cabin Cutoff Trail. That's actually the trail we were going to use if we continued along the south boundary. We got here. Looks like we're a little bent. Yeah. All right. Heart River Trail, by the way, 10.4 miles. That's going to be our new cut across to Heart Lake. Not far from that at all. In fact, that's kind of near a campsite that we rebooked, which is why it makes today such a short day. I don't think there's much we can do given we're in a national park. If I was in a random zone today, I'd be making as many miles as I possibly could with the rain coming in later and heavy tomorrow. But I'm not. Not new. I must say, that is a generously sized colon. What do you think? I can see the sign to camp. Starting to sprinkle. Time for a rock off. Done. Whew, slippery. All right, here's the sign to camp. Hoping some of that sun comes back. Get some stuff dried out. Pretty short day so far. 8C9. Horse hiker. Once I get in here and get settled, and when the rain lets me, I'll show you around. As promised, quick look around camp. Bear poles right here. Now, looking over here, I just want to show you there's a path, and it's a well-established path. There are at least 4 good tent pad sites in there, but we didn't pick them. I'll explain that in a minute. Eating area, which is now my cup of soup prep area. Nothing like a hot cup of soup on a cold afternoon. Let me just show you where we've camped. I'll fast forward. Okay, this will be hard to see. We are tucked into this stand of trees down here. Why? Well, that's a good question. We walked around and scouted all of the areas that might be potential tent pads, and this area had a lot of dry ground underneath some large trees. So the rain hadn't reached the ground, and that was something we were kind of looking for, because tomorrow morning we fully expect to have to get up in the rain, pack up and go, and that kind of cover will be super helpful. Scott's coming out of there now, and if you just see this line over here of willows, that is the river, and that is where we have filled up with water. So that's camp. It's mid-afternoon. We're having a bit of a snack. We're going to keep looking at the weather and make sure that we get our supper in before the rain comes on. And we would love a little more of that. Scott, what are you doing there?
Getting ready for some popcorn.
Popcorn in your Jetboil?
My Jetboil, can you believe it?
I can't believe it. What are you putting in there?
Coconut oil.
Coconut oil. Why coconut oil?
Because it's easier to carry, because it's solid.
Oh, it's solid.
Unless it's too hot, but most of the time
Well,
it's
that's not a problem today.
No, it's not.
All right.
Coconut oil has good flavor. You don't have to put butter or anything.
Well, how much coconut oil are you putting in there?
It's about, I'd say it's about 2 tablespoons.
Okay. All right, so what's the next step?
Okay, so I got the coconut oil in there. 3 kernels in here, like this.
3. Why 3?
Oh, I put 4 by mistake.
Oh no, we have to start again?
No, I think we'll be okay, because that's what tells you if the oil's ready.
Oh, they start to pop.
Yes, when they pop, then you put the rest of them in. But now I'm going to do something with this. Okay, so I'm measuring this so it'll be 1 layer in the bottom of the Jetboil.
1 layer of popcorn.
That's right.
Okay.
And the way I'll know that is when I have 1 layer in this thing. This is the same. It's my Jetboil cover.
Oh, okay. And we're only having 1 layer?
Well, that'll fill the whole thing up.
Oh, okay. All right. Oh, okay, when it pops, it'll be full.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I want this as low as it'll go.
Okay, so you don't burn it.
Exactly.
Okay. Looks pretty low.
Think it's the bottom?
I think you're probably right there. Okay.
I don't know. Can I get it any lower? I don't want it to go out in the wind. I think it's at the edge of going out. So that's what we do now. Now where's the lid? That's the lid's an important part. Okay, here it is. So we put this on here, and when those kernels pop, then we dump it all in.
Okay, so the test kernels pop, you dump in the whole thing.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, is it the first? 2?
Uh-oh.
3?
3.
There you go.
Well, all right.
You had 4 in there.
There we go.
Okay, and then they go. Boom! Oh. So how long does it usually take?
Not long after it gets going, maybe a minute.
Okay. Wow.
Smells like a movie house.
Yeah. What's playing tonight? Hide in the tent in the fetal position.
Wait for the rain.
Wait for the rain. Now, what about burning?
Well, I don't think it'll burn if I'm very careful.
All right, that's it. What's the shaking?
You can make sure the kernel will go to the bottom to get
Okay,
popped.
gotcha.
I think that's it.
That's it. Oh, time for the big reveal.
Whoa!
Oh. Okay, so what's the final step?
1 package of salt.
All right. Did you steal that from your local diner?
I think I might have got it at A&W or somewhere.
Oh.
It's kind of clumpy because it's kind of wet out here.
Backcountry popcorn in your Jetboil. Orville Redenbacher, coconut oil, which is solidified, and a little bit of salt you stole from A&W. Oop, there we go.
Brilliant. Good job. Thank
All
you.
right, let's try it. All right.
Very good.
Gorgeous, huh? That's a wrap on day 6. You know, it started off wet, cold, you know, drudging along. Super pretty though, as I showed you. Like then we got a break in the weather. Just as we got to camp here, it started spitting and a little bit of rain, and we had to kind of hide. But we did look, as I mentioned a bit ago, we did look for places underneath large trees where it was dry, meaning the rain really hadn't penetrated that area, and that's where we're set up over here tonight. It'll be pretty important in the morning because on days like tomorrow where you know it's going to rain pretty much all day into the evening, you know, you have to try to keep certain things dry. Sleeping bag, tent inner, if that's how your tent is set up. Rainfly will be wet anyway. And of course your puffy jacket. Sleeping bag, puffing jacket, and a tent, with the exception of the rainfly, you got to keep dry because those are going to help you when you get to camp, because if it's raining and you're sweating on the inside, you're going to be super cold when you stop. You're going to start to shiver, and you need to get into dry clothes and get in your sleeping bag and kind of recover from that, and then try to stay dry. So we kind of thought today with the kind of afternoon we had and stuff with a bit of sunshine, which was glorious, that we're in a pretty good space because we know tomorrow night we'll be soaking wet, but we have dry clothes for the next day on Friday, and that's when we head to Heart Lake. Now, a little bit of snow probably going to happen overnight Thursday into Friday at Heart Lake. That's in the forecast. Who knows if that'll be happening to us tomorrow night. Shouldn't be any big deal as the weather's going to taper off Friday into like a partly cloudy, partly sunny scenario through the weekend, albeit very, very much chillier than it's been on this entire trip. So that's the way it is. We're equipped. We know how to deal with it. It's still keeping your body temperature up. I've said this for years. Is, you know, your number one priority on a day like this. Walking through rain and snow, no big deal. It's when you stop. So anyway, I'm going to stop now. We've had a lovely supper. As you can see, the clouds are moving in up here, and it's only 5:30. Look how dark it is. We're expecting a thunderstorm to roll through here soon, so I thought I'd wrap this up while I still had the opportunity. Just another glorious day in Yellowstone National Park, and no matter what she throws at us tomorrow, it's going to be another glorious day, because look where we are. Look where we are. I'll look for you first thing in the morning. See you then. Morning, day 7, and as forecast, rain. Had lots of lightning overnight. In fact, we had some lightning so close, it just flashed and it was there, so pretty much on top of us. And I heard some elk bugling, and then, I don't know, is this a thing? Can a female call back? Is that a call females do? Because I kept hearing this unmale elk-like sound. And it was a very straight tone kind of call back. So I don't know if that's what was going on or what. But you know, your imagination's here like, oh, I wonder if they're talking. Why don't they just get together? So anyway, yeah, so plan this morning is to pack everything up in this tent while I'm in the tent, and then get up to the food area, try to eat something if I can find a dry area, and then just walk and try to get this interior of this tent packed up as dry as possible. The rain flies soaked on the outside and on the inside from all the big breath. So just a wet, kind of damp night. I can hear the guys talking in the background now. So yeah, pack her up, move it, and then set her up again and hope for the best. Just finished breakfast, a little thunder ice. Some ice pellets coming down now. Yeah. We got a nice little reprieve, however. You know, Scott, the last time I saw ice pellets coming down in the morning, it turned into a blizzard. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, boy. Wow. We are underway. Thank you, HC9. Let's go walk in some, I don't know, would you call this ice pellets or hail? I mean, yeah. Wonder how you draw the line. Or I should say the distinction. Well, poop. We were hoping we could rock hop this. We cannot. Shoot. All right. Oh, here comes the fort count. Oh, the water's warmer than the air. Holy moly. Oh, calf deep. All right. Oh, man. Yeah, there's the trail. She's a bit slippery. Let's do this again from the last hike. For all of you people who say that, how's the hike? We're just too happy. Everything's always rosy. Show us the hard stuff. Morning. Here we go again. This one's for you, wherever you are. Anybody need to filter any water? Look at this. Wow. Look at that. Even the bears don't want to stop to poop. It's just not, it's just, yeah. Even they're trying to book it. Well, that looks a wee bit steep compared to everything else. Big buck moving up there. Probably can't see it. Been lots of bugling going back and forth across this valley. There's herds on both sides. Yeah, here he goes. Try to zoom in a little more for you. Yeah, we hear you. Seems to be lots of elk in this area and lots of bulls. I will say this. You never want to mess with a bull elk, but you don't want to be anywhere near them during the rut. And 'tis the season. So I heard something up here pretty close. Gonna be super cautious. Starting to drop down toward the snake and some little drains that are coming into it. Look at the color of that water. Let me just zoom in for you. Yeah, oops, hang on. What's going on? There we go. Pretty dark and muddy. Unfortunately, I think that's our only water source for tonight. So that's challenging. Super nice now that we've dropped down. Quite a change from being upstairs, which was also nice. But, oh, this is very pretty down here. Look at this. Two kilometers remain, and I did see a semi-clean water source, but there was another one on the map. I'm like, well, that's another almost kilometer to carry. I'll go to that one. Dry. Non-existent. So, oh boy. The snake. My filter is not going to like that. Oh, wow, look at this. Wow. Ooh, this is one long meadow, and it's windy. Beautiful, but windy, cold. I've waited a few times for the gang, Don't know if they stopped for water. Hope they did for their sakes. But I can't stop out here. The wind is just too cold. It's right in my face. And don't need to catch a chill this close to camp. So what I'll do is I'll probably, if I get in the trees, I'll wait a bit longer, and then I guess I'll just head into camp and scout out camping spots in case I have to come in and get set up quickly due to that incoming weather. Been lucky so far a lot of today, but it's still calling for a whole bunch of rain at some point. Okay, so this flagging on a tree, not flagging, but somebody cut it years ago with a machete or something. That looks like an old camp there. Not where it is on the map, however. Hope that doesn't confuse the gang behind me. Well, they won't see me, but just if you're coming out this way, the map shows the camp just up around the bend over that way. Just before the ford of the Snake, which we'll have to do first thing tomorrow morning. Footsteps from camp. Holy crap. You know, you have some self-doubt when you see a place like that was so clearly used as a camp at some point. Whew. There's the Snake, there's the crossing. You see the markers across there. Here's HC5. Oh man alive. I was holding off. I'll get in quickly and set up the tent. Scout out an area for all of us. And then I'll show you around as weather permits. Look at the eating area, just coming back. There's a place over here you could probably tuck some tents in, but I didn't really want to walk through the swamp. And it looks like people had camped over here before, so we're all tucked up in there together. Not as far away from the eating area as you'd want, or the bear pole, but I'm not going to repeat myself. If you watch the channel, you know what I'm going to say. Anyway, yeah, this is us. Water source is interesting. The Snake is, well, like a vanilla latte right now, as Ann said earlier. Let me show you where we got our water. Just down past my tent. Looks like some rainwater or something is collected here. And it may look not great, but quite honestly, it's actually pretty clear. I smelled it. There's no smell. But I mean, the alternative, let me show you the Snake right now. There's no way, especially Ann doesn't filter, right? She puts in the tablets. Let's have a look at this Starbucks special. Yeah. I mean, we do filter glacial water, right? But that's just a murky mess. Speaking of that murky mess, that's our ford in the morning. Well, it's a wrap on day 7, back tucked in the tent. Rain is here again. We actually started out, as you saw, with a pretty nutty day. That was crazy. Off we went. We didn't know what to expect. And honestly, the scenery was phenomenal. You saw that meadow at the end. We saw tons of elk, lots of bugling along the Snake River. That was so cool. In fact, one scared me. There was something going on around me. I was off alone, and I heard this boom, 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 like footsteps, right? And clomping, obviously a hoofed animal. And I couldn't see it, but it was nearby. And I'm like, ee. You know, as I said earlier too, you don't want to be around a buck, especially during the rut. So anyway, you know, the rain let off. We had a couple of 3 good hours where it was just spitting. It wasn't too bad, but the wind picked up, made it a little bit chilly. I have to say, for starting out the way it did and the expectation laid out in the forecast, I'm pretty happy. Right now I'm going to show myself some shut-eye and get ready for an exciting day to Heart Lake tomorrow. See you then. Morning, day 8. Great sleep. Really good sleep last night. Rained off and on for a while, but it's over. Pulled the weather down and we might start seeing that bright thing in the sky mid-morning. Wouldn't that be great? Not that cold either, although I think tonight's going to be our coldest night, below freezing. So anyway, off to Heart Lake today, as I just mentioned seconds ago in the video. But before I can do that, I need one thing. Coffee. Getting ready for breakfast. Wanted to show you something. Look at the snow. Where we sit right now, we're maybe a couple 100 feet-ish below the snow line. Look at that. That's from overnight. Happy September. Wow. We are so lucky we didn't do Big Game Ridge. Woo. All right, breakfast and packing up, and then across the Snake. Little coffee, little breakfast, little gratitude. You know, it's getting kind of to the end of the summer backpacking season in the U.S. and Canada. Well, the parts that get snow, like I just showed you. And I just want to thank everybody again this summer for all their help. Mountain Equipment Company in Canada, a great sponsor, great affiliate, new tent, new sleeping bag, new sleeping pad, new gaiters. And I've had this tent in a lot of situations this summer. We'll talk about that in another video. It takes a long time to trust a piece of equipment that's so crucial, but I certainly do at this point. So watch for that review soon. They also provided me 28 days of supper, 80 electrolyte tablets, and I just, you know, if you click on the link below, it helps me stay on the trail. That's awesome. Also below, REI in the States, another affiliate. If you click on the link and you need gear, that also helps me stay on the trail. And I also want to give a big shout out, as I have been all summer. Let me just finish my coffee. To Bryden Solutions. BrydenSolutions.ca. No special link required. Just type it in. If you do buy something, just say, hey, I saw, you know, Stu was talking about you on How's the Hike, because they were super generous this summer with 55 backpacking meals and 50 pro bars for my lunches, including Dwight threw in some peak refuel at the end there, which I hadn't asked for because it's like expensive, right? It's like, oh, I'm not going to ask for that. But I've been saving this one like for a long time this summer, and I love breakfast. I love eggs, I love sausages, I love potatoes and onions and peppers, and this is the Peak Refuel Breakfast Skillet. Let's see what it's like. That's really good. The whole pouch is 640 calories. And that's about double what I typically have for breakfast with my two oatmeal pouches. But I thought I'd have this today as we head into Heart Lake, because tomorrow, you know, is exit day, and I thought I'm going to savor this morning. So thank you to everyone who's been such a help to me this summer, this season. It's been epic. I really, really appreciate it. I'm very grateful. All of you on Patreon who've been so supportive, and of course, all of you that watch the videos. It's been a great summer so far. Who knows what's next? But we're going to find out, and it's going to start with Ford of the Dirty Snake. All right. The gang has forded. Guess we're in a bit of a hurry this morning. Everybody's excited about Heart Lake. Yeah, still dirty. But Ford-wise, kind of a nothing burger. Let's go do it. All right, here comes the Ford camp. Oh, it's like a spa. No. Oh, what's going on over here? I guess pretty deep. Yeah, pretty see from over there. A little murky. There goes all the blood out of my legs. Some of these more. Oh, the sun's coming out. The sun will come out tomorrow. All right, there it is. The first of what I think will be many Fords today. Glad they put that little arrow on there. Yeah. All right, underway. I had a delay. The gang's ahead of me now, heading to the next Ford. Yeah. I gotta be honest, this never happens. I went to start the Garmin track so that the girls and my mom can watch, you know, kind of where I'm at. And I left my Garmin back at the campsite. So I've now done 3 Fords of the Snake in a 15-minute period. Woo! I think the feeling will come back to my feet shortly. Looking at that snow in the hills, thinking about all those elk yesterday. It would have been pretty much a snow line. You can imagine the female elk saying to the bull that brought them, hey, you told me you were taking me somewhere nice and hot. Oh, and to think I left old 9 Point for you. Oh. All right, here comes the Ford camp. Slippery, buddy. finished the ford, noticed some steam. So obviously some thermal activity over there. It'd be nice to go over there and warm up. It's a more active one right over there. Okay, here's our big intersection for the day. I'm going to show it to you. We've just come off the Heart River Trail. The Harebell Cabin Cutoff Trail was our original plan, as I mentioned before. 2K on the Basin Creek Cutoff Trail to the Heart Lake Trail. That way. Well, remember, I mentioned lots of water crossings. Ha! Let's see what we can do with this guy. I really don't want to. Oh, I don't want to. That's a wet log over there. I don't think so, Timmy. All right, let's see what I can find down here, maybe. Man, it's the summer for sandhill cranes. 8B4 right in there. Nice little spot, actually. You can see the camping, to the eating area. Yeah, sandhill crane here. After we first saw them in the bob, everybody telling us what they actually were. Now we're seeing them all over the place. Mount Sheridan area. Lots of snow. Here we go again. I think I can run across this. Over to there, maybe. All right, let's do the running rock hop. Woo! Oh, that was deeper than I thought. My feet are wet already, it doesn't matter. Okay. Dropping down in towards Sheridan Lake. A lot of those fords that I was talking about earlier did not exist because Nat Geo does not show the trail we're on. Gaia shows it, Nat Geo does not. Nat Geo has us crossing over to the other side of the river, going into a campsite, and then coming back out, which would be all those different fords. So this is, wow, like Nat Geo's kind of the map, right? Well, let me flash up what I'm talking about. There it is. Nowhere near what we thought we were going to be doing. Whoa, whoa, whoa. All of a sudden, there's nothing else around like it. Just a big rock. Oh, volcano. First view of Heart Lake, South Bay. As I mentioned, you can see the up and over over there. We're going to have to do here shortly, but we're making really good time. Let's go down and have a look at this beauty. Man, Heart Lake, been a long time coming. South Bay campsite here. Just show you the entrance. What a spot this would be. Of course, it's up in the woods. 8H1, but if I were here, I wouldn't be up in the woods. I'd be here on the beach. And that's why I think it's time for us to have a little break. And look at that. Nice little break down there. Sun's out. Gorgeous little beach. Whew. Let's hope ours is similar. First little climb, and we'll drop down. Well, hi there, little guy. You're very pretty. Okay, I need your help. There's an interesting odor here along this part of the trail. I can't identify it. It smells herbal or like tea, dried tea or something like that. I have no clue what it is. Comment below if you do. It's a pleasant smell and it comes and goes. Like right there. Wow, very strong. It's not thermal. It's actually pleasant. Almost to the intersection with the campsite. This is Sheridan Creek, which our campsite is named after, as I mentioned earlier. Going to cross this a couple times on the way down. No big deal, not even a rock hop, but beautiful and clear with all that recent snow. 8H2 is us. Let's go find camp. Down there. Some bright markers in the distance. I don't want you to miss this. This might be a bit confusing unless you have a map, which we do. 8H3 is over that way. See the arrow they put up there? 8H2 is just down here straight ahead. I can see the campsite. So we're going to have a meadow here to dry things off, which is great. Looking at 8H2, Sheridan Creek. No fires. Little bear hang right there. Pit toilet, I'm assuming, is that way. In fact, they've got something written on it. Let's see if we can say it together. Might be too far out. I can't see that. Maybe you can. Pretty sure that's the pit toilet. All right, we're going to explore and set her up. Show you around. Little shot around camp. Everything is wet. I mean, literally. Look at this. All we need is share. We could have a song about people on the road. Anyway, look at this. Look at the menagerie of stuff hanging over here. All right, so that's the eating area. I showed you that when I came in. The privy is way out there, and it's a little green toilet, which they've pointed this way. I don't know why they didn't point it up here at Mount Sheridan. Poo with the view. Yeah. Now, let me show you some tent pads up here in the trees. I'm not going to make you walk with me the whole way, so we'll speed it up. A couple of different paths coming up in here. And there are some slopey tent pads. They're not bad. Don't get me wrong. Actually, this one's pretty good. You know, I'd put a tent here. Maybe one there. Maybe one there, right? Up here a ways. Maybe one here. And over here you got room for, well, a little single down there. So there are lots of tent pads. The issue for us right now is that there's, by the way, sorry, interrupting myself. There's the other path out. Let's take it. The issue for us right now is it's still very wet and muddy and kind of dank in there, you know? And we're out here in the beautiful sun, so we may try to camp somewhere out here that's a little drier. Very well-defined path coming down from the eating area to the beach. I think Ann was down here a while ago getting cleaned up. It's a lovely spot. You can see Sheridan Creek draining into the lake. I found Sheridan Creek, after filtering it, a little bit of an aftertaste. Hard to say what that is. All right. Here's Heart Lake from the beach. Gorgeous spot. You can see the weather's in our favor. More of this tomorrow. Little sun, little cloud. Views, thermals tomorrow. Oh. And now supper before we lose the sun. Let me show you what's going to happen here shortly behind Mount Sheridan. There's Mount Sheridan, as I just said a second ago, and there's the sun. Just up there in those clouds. We may have 5 to 10 minutes left, and then down the temperature's going to go. Woo! Well, there's Mount Sheridan. I didn't know what to show you tonight, the lake or the mountain. So I decided to come out and stand by the mountain. Hi. Wrap up on day 8. Day 8. Wow. Day 9 tomorrow through the thermals up the hill and then down toward the car to the Heart Lake Trailhead. It's been a great trip. We'll wrap it up tomorrow, of course, talk about some things, but it's been good. It's been fairly easy. First few days were just flat walking along the lake on the Thorofare. And today had some nice views early on with those meadows and the sandhill cranes and all that sort of thing. But then a lot of forest walking to get to the end of the lake at South Bay, which was stunning. And then the walk here was awesome as well. Hopefully more of that tomorrow before we descend back into the thermal area. A little more views and things like that. And then all the thermals. What will we see? What will be happening? Will there be a geyser? I don't know. But you will in 5 seconds. Let me know, will you? See you in the morning. Morning, day 9. Day 9. I love these trips. I'm remembering what day it is too, which is really helpful. I also remember it's about day 21 of the Backcountry beard. What do you think? So truth is that between trips, Glacier and Yellowstone, I just was lazy. I said, I'm not shaving. So it's coming off. What do you think? Look at that. That's what happens when you get older. Don't tell anybody. Anyway, day 9, thermals, climb, car, shower, shave. That's the plan. Really good sleep last night. Really good sleep last night. Best of the whole trip. Got a leaky thermarest though. Patched it, like 10 days ago in Shoto, Montana. Found a leak, patched it. Must be another leak because I'm filling this thing up about 3 times a night, but still was very comfy and very warm even though it was a cold night, so really good. Anyway, that's a rambling, meandering good morning to day 9. So let's get moving, but first, coffee. Scott got up for the sunrise, so that I can get up and see the sunrise. It should be right across the lake. There it is. I'm back in St. John. Wow, foggy, cold morning. Good morning, Heart Lake. So we're underway. All the elk that have been bugling all night this morning have stopped. That may change when they see us. Fog layer is starting to lift, revealing a gorgeous morning along Heart Lake. Just stunning. Lots of blue sky for us right now. It sure is. Descending to the lake, first to 3 campsites down along here. 4, 5, and 6, I believe. Is that how the numbers go? Yeah. What do you think, Willie? Is that how the numbers go?
I don't remember the number. One of them's called Rustic Campsite.
Maybe I didn't hike you quite as often as I could have. Sriracha Willie. New trail name for Scott.
Are we still on the CDT? DDT or whatever it is? CDT?
No, we joined the CDT up here.
Oh.
Yeah. One more to go before we hit the Heart Lake Patrol cabin. Wonder if we'll see this cabin.
I think we might, but we haven't had good luck.
Not had great luck finding all the patrol cabins. Should be along the North Beach here, Heart Lake. Pretty quick. First thermal spotting.
Looks like a big one.
Yeah, it's going off pretty good. That's off to kind of our west. Last campsite along the trail here. 886 in there. Rustic Geyser might be what we just saw. We're going to see if there might be some sort of like informal trail up to it.
You think it's best to go this way or go around?
Well, it's kind of swampy. We're just trying to figure out if we can get there. It just went off and I missed it on video.
Well, it's dry over there.
Yeah, look at that. Scott and I have left our packs with Anne, who's going to have a rest with her knee. We're going to see if we can safely pick our way up here. Show you this thermal area, Rustic Geyser. That's like you, Scott. This could be your trail name, Rustic Geyser. Rustic Geyser.
Rusty geezers?
Yeah. All right, we're up here. That is boiling hot water. Do not go in it. Do not go near it. You will not survive it. Happens all the time here. Look at that.
That's deep.
That is a deep pool. Oh, not getting too close. Going to be safe, but look at that. You're going to see the shadow of the camera, but can you see the color in there? That is amazing. Wow. Another angle for you. Look at that pool. That is just a pool. I'm thinking that's the geyser, not Scott. One last look at Rustic Geyser. You can see the thermal fields around it here. Nice view down over where we've come up from Heart Lake. Wow, what a place. This is just stunning. You know what I always say, you can only get here if you walk in. And it's spectacular. We're going to take the roundabout way out of here and have a look at these other hot pools. And the one here. Wow. Look at how deep that is, right? Another pool here. And then some little fella trying over here. The baby geyser. There it is.
Crazy. The one that kind of dried up. But they used to have water. You can tell by the rain.
This guy's going to go. Whoa!
What's going on?
Gotta step back just slightly. One last look back. Heart Lake. Gorgeous morning. Gorgeous spot. First intersection with Witch Creek. Nice little bridge over it. We're gonna kind of follow it up actually and head toward our climb. Here's our intersection where we join the CDT again. Heart Lake Trailhead, 7.4 miles, that's us. I think we're going to see the patrol cabin. I shouldn't say I think, I know, because I've already seen it. Let me show you that. There it is. Heart Lake Patrol Cabin. Somebody's there. So I'll turn the video off out of, respect for that. And there it is. There it is, Heart Lake Ranger Station. We're just laughing with the guys that are here that we can't miss this one, but Lord, we've missed a bunch of them. All right, there's the cabin. Scott called this the mother-in-law cabin. Are you speaking from experience?
No.
That's probably just like a tack shed or something.
Yeah, it looks like a barn, doesn't it?
Yeah. Another thermal area down there, some hot springs. A little far off for us to go down, I think. Little hot tub on the side of the trail. Lots of footsteps in here. Yeah. Right beside the trail. Little bubbling over there. Lots of steaming. Yeah, another deep one. Check this guy out. Looks hot. Okay, I think I figured out this is what the gorgeous smell is coming from that I noticed yesterday and mentioned. Do you know what they are? If you know what these are, please post them in the comment section below. The fragrance is just wonderful. Pretty cool, huh? One back. Holy wow, look at that. What a view. Heart Lake. Thermal basin. Stunning. You know, I saw this a while ago on the trail. This is a wire. So there, I'm asking another question. Is this like a communications wire out to some sort of, maybe out to the patrol cabin? If so, might want to come in and cover her up. That's the second time I've seen it. We're just minutes from the trailhead. Look at that. All that glassy volcanic stuff. Isn't that cool? Like minutes from the trailhead. And then down here, horse poop. Did you pick any of that up, Scott? Horse poop? Oh boy, where's the Purell? All right, here we are, coming up to the trailhead. hearing all the loud mufflers. See the trail sign, I see vehicles. And that means one thing. We're going to get settled and find out, how's the hike? Well, 80 miles, 128 kilometers. Kind of a leisurely hike, really. Scott split up the days. I guess the big question is, Anne, how's the hike?
Well, it was very beautiful. I loved the area that we went through, all of it. And I think my favorite part was listening to the wolves and the elk at night.
Yeah, that was
pretty cool.
Really cool.
And then seeing all the footprints. I mean, we saw everything from grizzly to what I think was probably a pine marten and otter tracks.
Yeah,
it was
for sure.
Pretty amazing.
Awesome. Scott?
Well, it was 9 days, and we went 7 days without seeing another party.
Woo!
Yeah.
The solitude of the southeast corner is tops.
Yeah, totally agree. I want to thank Scott for planning this trip. I want to thank Scott and Ann for being patient when I was flat on my back for basically 2 days before the trip, and then rebooking it so we could go down the Thorofare, which I mentioned earlier in the video. That corner, the Thorofare South Boundary corner, has been on my list for 9 years. 9 years. That's how I mentioned how I met Joey Coconato. I was asking questions about that. So this is just, the solitude. Loved it. Great company, great trail. Hope you enjoyed it. Questions and comments, put them down below and I'll answer them. Check out the links below. And as always, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.